Hey guys, hope you're well. So today I'm going to be quickly running you through a move that I caught yesterday, and it basically came into today's push, and I also caught another entry from the intraday move that happened in the London session. So I'm basically just going to break down my chart and show you what I saw and show you exactly why I took my trade. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So first things first, I'm going to start off with some top-down analysis. I'm not going to make this video too long. But I'm going to try and give you as much value as I can without making the video too big. So I have my checklist of things that I look for, just to bear in mind before I come to the market. So where is my pre-market checklist? Where is he? There he is. Okay, cool. Let's just quickly run through it. Okay. Okay, cool. So pre-market checklist. What is the trend? Are we looking for buys or sells? Are we in a counter trend or are we in a main trend? What does the previous daily candle tell us? Is there news today? Where is the liquidity? Have we pre-qualified our areas of interests, plural? And have we predetermined the risk for the day? I.e., what can your account handle per attempt? Do you have buffers? All right, so let's just quickly dive into the chart and quickly just have a look. All right, so just generally on GJ, which is what I trade, the trend is up, right? So we are in an uptrend, right? An overall main uptrend, right? But at this time, we are actually in a bit of a counter. So the shorter term trend is a counter trend, yeah? So we are coming down. We're making lower lows and lower highs as we're coming down here, right? But what happened yesterday is we got a bit of a correction, like quite an aggressive push to the downside. And as you can see, I got some levels marked out here. I'm not going to just go too deep into top-down analysis, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of basically where I'm at in this move and the trend. Also, yesterday there was a news event. So this push happened. There's a lot of news actually yesterday. This push happened, then there was news sort of at the middle in the afternoon at the New York Open, I believe. So there was no selling for me. I just waited for the buy. So I had to wait until after the news. So I will go into a bit more detail. Just quickly, while I've got the higher time frame up, I'm just going to quickly show you the levels that I am basically using for this trade. So we have this level here, right? It's an important level. And we've also got this level here, right? Which is also the 750 QP, so 181750. Or is that the 500? Just 1 second. Let me just pull this up. Nah, that's the 500, and that's the 750, right? Okay, cool. Okie dokie, let's get rid of this. All right, cool. So also today we had news. We had Great British Pound news, which basically shot the chart up in the Asian session, just towards the end. Let me just get rid of these. Right. Okay, right. Okay, so the second thing I've got to do, right, is pre-qualify my areas of interest for buys, right? So I'm going to quickly checklist for areas of interest, right? Valid demand zone or support, quarter point institutional levels, fib levels, and higher time frame EMAs. But on this particular example, there is no higher time frame EMA. So cool, let's just dive into this, right? Now, basically, because this big push happened yesterday, I couldn't really do much apart from just watch. Okay, so when we came down, all right, let's get down onto the hourly. Let's get here so we can have our time frames. Okay, cool. So this was the Asian session. yesterday's Asian session. London session was just a big old bleed. It pushed all the way down, right? Hit this support demand and then exhausted and pushed right back up. Now, as soon as I saw this wick, right, this was on the hourly as well. As soon as I saw this wick, I knew basically in this area we may have found support. So basically, but because we were on, because price had come so low on the chart, there was, I was aware that it was going to be extra volatile around this area. So I knew that all my price action signals that I take for entries are going to have to be on a slightly higher time frame. Same with the exhaustion that I look for. Exhaustion was going to have to be on a higher time frame. I couldn't go off the 5 minute and the 1 minute entry confirmations down here, and exhaustion would have had to be on a bit more of a higher time frame. So bearing in mind, taking that into consideration, I was actually skeptical about taking any kind of entry, because basically the way I see it, if you're going to take an entry there, your stop loss has to be underneath this wick. So this stop loss is massive, 69 pips. So it was very important that you get it right. That you get it right. Okay, cool. So let's go into the move here, right? Jump back on a higher time frame. Let me go through my area of interest confluences and why I may have taken a trade there. Right, so we have a level, right, that price found support at. We also had a quarter point, which was the 181,500, I believe, right? Okay, now just based on where my fib is. So my fib goes from point A. Oh, we've already got it on there. Nope. We've already got it on there? Yeah, we do. Okay, cool. He's already on there. Let's draw him again. Right. Point A is there. Okay, no, it's not very going very well. Try to be smooth. Point A is there. Point B is there. Okay. So point A, point B, and point C, okay, which is the 78.6, right? So if you're using fibs, based on where prices come to, this is an area that basically a lot of people would say is the best area to take a buy from. It's called the golden zone between these two, the 61.8 and the 78.6. Okay, so we have confluences for basically a swing or a higher time frame move, and we'll be looking to take it up there. And that's if you're swing trading. To be honest with you, I do mark up my stuff on higher time frames, but I am not looking to swing trade GJ. I think that basically GJ gives you enough opportunities to continue to day trade it all the way up. So you could just take a buy from there and hold it to here. But in the, on the way up, there is a lot of opportunities to just basically catch every swing, every little swing. Okay, cool. So confluences are stacking. So we have a level of support, demand zone. We have a 78.6 and we have a QP, right? So we've got 3 confluences for area of interest. So when it found support here, it was a pretty solid buy. So yeah, we are looking for buys. Because the counter trend is coming down like this, it's similar to over here. So this was also a counter trend, right? Another counter trend here, but the main trend is up. So from it finding a low here, this could be the higher low that we're looking for, and then we'll make our move up, right? So this area is basically good for buyers. The same with this area. When we were here, we were taking all these buyers up here, right? That was a good level of support, and it was also on the 61.8. So, I mean, there was a good few pushes up from here, even if we were going against the counter trend trade. Counter trend trend. We still got some really good pushes, 50, 60, 70 pips all here. So I do only buy GJ, by the way, even though it's clear as day that that is a downward counter trend. I just feel like if you know what accumulation and distribution is, there are still people accumulating the yen. So these pushes at every pullback, as you can see, I mean, these are basically counter trend. We're in a counter trend here, but these pushes are big, so people are still accumulating the yen. So basically, I still buy even against the counter trend because the moves are still there. I just feel like people get a little bit too knotted up trying to buy and sell. So I think it's just simpler if you just buy, and you've always got exhaustion and you've always got levels which you can buy from. So you've always got a trade. Like these would have been great trades. Okay, cool. Let's just jump into it. Okay, let's get. Right, so now that we've sort of understood that we have some higher time frame confluences for a buy and that this is a valid support level, we then go on to the smaller time frame and we can look at what I saw for me to take buys. Okay, cool. So let me just go to here. Okay, cool. So first things first, I had exhaustion, right? That was giving me an indication that basically sellers may be done and it might give bulls a chance to push back up. So this was my actual entry. Let me click on this guy. Let's get him back on the chart. Right, this was my entry. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. It took me about 3 attempts to actually get this to stick because what was happening was because of how volatile we were here. I mean, my first entry was probably my first entry. There was a lot of there was a lot of movement around here and then a sweep. So this came under here and took out this. So this push down took out any liquidity underneath here. But eventually I followed this market structure. And I think I took a buy on this candle. And then it basically acted as support. All right. So let me go into that. But the first thing I'm looking for when I'm taking a buy is exhaustion. All right, once price has found a place for it to rest, then I start to look for a reverse in momentum, basically. So that's why I started to see here. So let me just get this off here 1 second. All right, cool. Now, my entry confirmations are pretty much a shift in momentum. So I'm going to just show you the shift in momentum. I think I actually marked out here the low, the high. Yeah, I can't remember where the first entry was. All right, but the one that stuck was this one, the important one. So I'm just going to quickly go through how I look at it, right? So I will follow market structure like this. So this is on the 5 minute. I normally do this on the 1 minute, and then I look for a 5 minute candle to break structure. But where we're so far down and things are quite volatile, you need to do this on a slightly higher time frame, right? So there we go. There's the shift in momentum right there. All right. So what I do is I follow it down and I start to look for a failed low. Now, this is the failed low here. This is when the low did not continue to print below this one, right? So this tells me potentially this is where price could reverse from. So what I start to do is I mark out the lows quite simply with a, so when I get, say for example, I come to this low, I'd put a marker there as the low, right? Now, if that gets taken out, which it did by this one, I just move it along. And if that gets taken out by this one, just move it along, right? Until it doesn't break the low anymore, right? And also I do the same thing at the top. So I will mark out the highs. So for example, if the price comes down here, makes a low, goes up to here, I'll put an entry line here. This is what I call an entry line, right? And again, if it keeps going lower, I just keep moving it, right? And then just move it until you get a failed low. So the first thing you're looking for on a higher time frame, right, is exhaustion, right? You want to see that basically the sellers are done, and that potentially that buyers could step in. But what you then need to look for is that shift, right? And this is what happened here. All right, so let me get rid of this. Okay, and this is just using price action, really. Right, so you've marked this out on the 5-minute time frame. You need a higher time frame candle. So this 5-minute candle is not enough, right? What you need is a 15 or 30 to basically break above this line that you've just basically marked out as your, let's make it nice and straight. Okay, that's better. So you basically need a higher time frame candle to break, retest, and go. And as you can see here, it never really came back. But what it did do the next day is this was a sweep of liquidity underneath here. But your stop loss would have been underneath here. So you would have been okay. But all of this liquidity here, this got swept the next day. But we'll go into that on the next day, because this is yesterday's entry that I basically left overnight. I slept on it. Okay, cool. Right, let me just. So let's just recap quickly, right? So we follow market structure down. We mark out the highs, we mark out the lows. We look for the failed low, which is here, right? That gives us an indication that potentially this is where momentum is going to shift from basically the bears pushing us down into an area where there's liquidity, or there's something there that's basically satisfied the sellers. And then you're waiting for basically the bulls to step in and take over. So like I said, we mark it out on the 5-minute, right? But then we look for a higher time frame candle, so a 15. Let's have a look. A higher time frame candle to break structure. There you go. This candle here. This candle here, I'm going to mark him out. This candle here is the entry signal, right? Now, obviously, when you're on a higher time frame, the size of this candle is going to be a lot bigger than if it was on a 1 and a 5. All right, so you wouldn't have wanted to enter. Well, you need this candle to basically break this, then you look for an entry, right? But you don't really want to enter once that candle has closed here, because your risk to reward is not going to be very good. All right, so, and you would have had to, on this time frame, put your stop loss 10 pips below the swing low. So your stop loss has to go, gosh, right there, right? To give yourself enough breathing room so you don't get swept like what happened here. All right, so your risk to reward is going to be terrible. You've got a 40 pip stop loss. So what you would have to do is wait for the retest, right? So you would have had to wait for this, and you would have had to wait and make sure this holds. Then you're looking for, once this retest is done, so this is technically like a little trend coming back, right? You need to wait for momentum to shift towards the upside again. So you're looking for this candle, which basically signified that basically that was the end of this little downtrend push into the retest area, right? So if you went on a smaller time frame, you can see that basically the same thing happened as this. You had a little downtrend that pushed price into this area, and then you had a shift in momentum. The same thing here. You're looking for a shift in momentum. So although that is the main push into the liquidity, that's the breakout and this is the retest. You need to kind of see the same thing happening again. So that was your retest. So your entry could have been like this. Your entry could have been there. And again, you want to see some exhaustion. You can see actually you get a failed low again, right? So if you jump to, let's jump back to the 15. You're just waiting for that momentum to push. All right, so maybe this candle, but again, if you're entering off these candles, your risk to reward is not going to be that good. So you really could go down onto lower time frames. But again, you have to remember that basically the technical analysis that's being that you're identifying here is on a higher time frame. So the move is actually going to be bigger as well. So even if your risk to reward isn't that great, the move will have a lot more juice in it if the technical analysis is playing out on a higher time frame. So, but if you can get in on the 1 and the 5 on a move like this, it's actually the risk reward becomes amazing. Okay, cool. So basically your entry could have been on this retest here, but I think I mean, my entry was, yeah, so look, I think I actually got in here though, to be honest with you. I think I got in here. Do you know what I think I did? I think I got in off this retest here. So when I saw this 5-minute engulfing and I saw that, I think that gave me enough confidence to say, right, this 5-minute now, this 5-minute is basically showing that bulls are taking control. And then I went on to the 15-minute and I saw that the 15-minute printed over. I think I got in off that wick there, look. Pretty sure I got in off that wick, right? And then it pushed me up here. And then stop loss was, I think stop loss was actually 5 pips underneath. Stop loss was about there. Okay, cool. Right, so that was how I entered this trade. And then I slept on that and I woke up to this push in the London, well, just at the end of the Asian session. So I wake up around this time when I come to the market. So I'd already seen it's been pushed like this. It had pushed and then retested the 181750 QP and had another little push. So I basically TP'd around here. I believe that was 80 pips. Let me just check. So where did I get out? Pretty sure I got out at 80 pips. Yeah, there. So I got out there. Right, let me just clean this up 1 sec. Oops. All right, cool. So that was move number 1. I TP'd and I was very happy with that. And then the actual move in the London session, which in my playbook is called a London drop. It's basically, so let's just get this. Let's just get rid of this. Okay, so that's that one done. I TP'd. Let's clean up. Let's clean up the chart 1 sec. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Right. So another thing I noticed, right, is that basically price had started to do the same thing here. So we got like a break and a retest, right? Break and retest, right? But we started to make market structure. So as you can see here, we pushed up, made a high, came back, retested, tried to break this high, couldn't do it, went down, had a little sweep of this liquidity, and then we broke this level. So we kind of created a level, right? So this push up here was us making a high, and then us coming back down here, if we were going to continue with the trend. So if you can see here, here, and here, if we're going to continue with the trend towards the upside, this is going to be a higher low, right? So GJ likes to make market structure, and she loves to come and retest things. So this high that got broken basically became a target for basically a retest, and I basically came to the market here, saw everything pushing up, TP'd, and then watched the market come down. So let me just, also I put a little trend line here, and some people say the third touch of a trend line has an 80% chance of being respected. I guess it did here. But again, that's retail concepts, which I am a retail concepts trader, but I think some of those things are just booby traps for people to take you out. Okay, cool. So we've made a resistance here that got broken, needed a retest. Same with the actual quarter point, 181,500. That needed to get a retest because we broke through it, came back. So again, all I'm looking for really is, this is the main trend. For me on this little small time frame here, this is the main trend, and this is a counter trend. All I'm looking for is a buy, a reversal pattern, and to push towards the upside. That's all I'm looking for. That's pretty simple. And again, it comes into my playbook. The London drop is basically the play. I'll put the link in the description so you can have a look at the rules to this play, but it's pretty simple. The London session will come down, find support, and continue for the day. So that's basically what I caught. Right, so let's jump into what I saw. Now you could actually even draw a fib. I mean, I wouldn't advise fibs on this small time frame, but it's still another added confluence for your buy. So that's the low, that's the high. Point A, point B, 61.8 is point C, all right? And then push. Just an extra confluence. But really the main thing here is the fact that price was making market structure, all right? We've got a little internal market structure break here, clapped the liquidity. This was the higher low. Pushed up, came down, made another high low, and gone, right? Higher low, right? This is called the low low. This is the bottom. So yeah, this was a pretty easy trade. So let's go into it. Right. Let me jump onto the smaller time frame. So I'm looking for a retest, yeah, from this level, right? So this is my area. Plus, if you can see this green zone, again, this is the area of support on the higher time frame. So I'm literally just looking for price to come into this and leave, gain momentum and leave. Now, when I'm looking for an entry, my moves are always reversal patterns. So I'm always looking for price to come into an area, reverse and leave. The first thing I need for a good reversal is exhaustion, right? I think on the 1 hour time frame, look at that. On the 1 hour time frame, when price came in here, it already rejected once off of it. It came down, and I think there was a little fair value gap down here that I think the price came into. It was like a 5-minute fair value gap. As soon as I saw this hourly candle close like that with this big long rejection wick, I knew that basically I'd be looking for a buy here. So I didn't know exactly where, but I'll show you. I'll go down onto the 1 minute and I'll show you the reversal that I basically caught. But as soon as you start seeing price making long wicks like this, it's rejecting off these levels. So, I mean, some people may have thought that that was the retest of this level and they could have took a buy from there, right? But I kind of was just following it down on a smaller time frame. But this was a good sign for definite for my trade that price is coming to this level and rejecting. But I knew it wasn't finished because I did have a fair value gap down here, which I knew needs to be taken out before it makes this move towards the upside. Okay, cool. So let's just jump down. Let's jump down. Let's jump down to the 5. Right. So same exercise, right? We're just following market structure down towards the area that we are basically anticipating there being a reaction or like a reversal from, right? Bang. Failed low, push up, right? Cool. Doesn't have to be perfect, but that's the momentum shift. So price is, you know, this is another, again, a little counter trend. Wherever you want to put your trend line. I don't really use trend lines like that, but it is a counter trend of the main trend that is up. Okay, so it's coming into an area of liquidity. I've got exhaustion. Now what I'm looking for is the reversal, and it's right there. So like I said, I will mark out my areas. So we might be able to go down to the 1 minute. Right, this entry, I believe I took from here. Okay, so this is the swing high. Right, so as I said, as price comes down, I will add the swing high. Yeah, there. there, right? That was the last swing high before the reversal. And again, I will mark out the swing lows with a red point of invalidation line, right? So if, you know, this one gets broken, cool, you move it down. If that one gets broken, it got wicked, but then it did get broken. So you move it down. So basically, you just follow it down. So that's your last swing low, and that's your last swing high before the reversal happens. So literally, again, it's the same thing. What you're looking for is price to be coming down like this, and then make a failed low, and then continue going up like that. And that's all you're looking for, is this failed low, right? And this line to be broken, and your trade would be like off the retest of the swing high. It's really simple. Okay, so again, you're on your 1 minute time frame, and you're looking for a 5 or a 15-minute candle to basically give us the signal to enter. So let's get over here. Okay, cool. So you've marked out your swing high, you've marked out your swing low. What you don't want to see is price basically breaking here. Now, when I saw this, so the first thing that happened, right, was I marked this out on the 1 minute, and then I got this massive 5-minute candle that broke this line, and I thought, oh, is this going to keep going? So I actually entered, right? I'm not perfect. I entered out of fear that this was going to keep going, and I thought, like, shit, my stop loss is going to be massive. But so I entered here. So 5 pips under the low, stop loss goes there. And my entry was basically on the 181,500. But what I did was I scaled in. So I got a 2.5 lot here, right? Just in case that did shoot off and didn't come back. But I did want to get another entry off of the retest, which basically it did do that. So my first entry was here, 181,500, right? Because of this, right? So this big candle here has broken our breakout line, and that's exactly what you want to see. Now, another thing that's important about this type of strategy is that you need to be doing this during the sessions when there's momentum. So you need momentum. You don't want to be doing this after hours. You need basically, so what happened here was this push down got us to this, and it was basically the beginning of the New York session, end of the London session that pushed us back up. So that's the momentum that took us. So yeah, so this big candle broke this line, gave me the signal that we're going to go up from here. Now, what you needed to see now is a failed low. Now, this wick down here that didn't basically close below, so the candle body didn't close below here, showed me there's rejection here. And I thought, right, this is good. This is going to reverse from this point. This counts as a failed low because it didn't break this, right? It didn't take us out from the point of invalidation, right? So our stop was safe. We didn't actually get, it didn't continue to basically do this, basically. Okay, so that's what I saw. And then when you start flicking through higher time frames and you start seeing other candles that are closing above this line, that's also a good sign. Actually, it did get a bit scary here because there was, when this candle printed below these candles, I was thinking, oh, is it going to go down for another leg, or is there more to do down there? But luckily, it rejected, and then we got a engulfing here of this candle. So that was the push up. And again, so that was the so again, it's like it's a break and a retest, but this was like a deep retest, right? And this candle here let us know that we've come into this area retested, and then this candle breaking this line again just shows us we're going up, right? So that was good to see that. All the while, you need to see on the higher time frame exhaustion, and there was exhaustion here. Was there any half-an-hour exhaustion? It was okay. It wasn't the best signal. It wasn't like the hourly exhaustion. But when you go into the hourly, so hold on. When you go into the hourly and you start seeing this, you know that at this area, price is coming into this area and being rejected and getting pushed back out. So with this in mind, you know that basically this level, there's something here that's pushing this away. So basically, I know it's only a small push, but this is all we caught here, this push here. And then when it came back down, I added on the 30-minute, 15-minute. Yeah, so I caught this push And then when it came back down here, I added and caught this push and I was out by here. But let's go through it. Let's go through it. Right, so in terms of confluences, what have we got? We've got market structure. Okay, prices broke this, coming back to retest. It did go a bit deep, and it did wick into this support that I put out here. Reversal pattern. It was our indication, like our confirmation to enter. We had a fib, you know, 61.8. I can't argue with that. Also, we had a higher time frame support that basically price is hanging around here, so it's probably going to bounce off of this a few times before it shoots off, but that's fine because we can keep taking buys off of this level. The third touch of this trend line, so it's kind of like, okay, you got one there, I guess 2, 3, 4, right? So price is bouncing into this support or demand zone, so it's good for buyers because there'll be orders here that are pushing this out of this area. So at this moment, even if this does become like a range, which it basically is right now, even if this does become a range, buys are good off of this level, right? So with GJ, ranging isn't such a bad thing because you can catch big moves within ranges, just off the bottom of ranges, if there's buying pressure. Right, so let me drag onto the chart my actual buy. My actual buy. So where was the first buy? That one. This one. Off the 500. And that was with a little humble 2.5 lot. Okay. That was with a little humble 2.5 lot. There from this area. Right? And then when price pushed up, I mean, this push was 40 pips. Look. This push from there to there is 40 pips. I didn't TP because I thought this has got a bit more because of the timing, the fact that the New York session was about to start. I thought like the New York would push this a bit further, but it didn't. But when it came down to here, so let's just get rid of this. When it came down to here, it retouched this support again. So I know it came into it here, but it basically made like a higher low here. If we're going on this being market structure. So again, you know, you could even have another trend line, but to be honest, if you're going to use trend lines on a smaller time frame, you're literally just going to become liquidity. I would only really use trend lines on a higher time frame, but it's all right. So yeah, I took another entry here. Let me drag him across, and this was with a 5 lot. So this is called adding to a winner. This is called adding to a winner, and I had the momentum of the New York session to carry this move, and it basically took us from here up to here. Oh, it's taking ages. Stop was tight on this one, but we were buying off support, which is important. Okay, and we were already in profit from this one, so it was a risk that I was willing to take. The stop was tight. The stop was very tight. Hit it with a 5 lot. It took me up to, I believe, I think I came up to here. It wasn't even a big push. I think it was about 20 pips. Got me to there, but stacked with the other one, it made good money. So these two were active together, and then I think I TP'd around here. And that was it, pretty much. Right, that was it. So all my strategy is I have an idea of a general direction of the market, but before price goes there, it's going to make a pit stop before it continues. And that's all my moves are, literally. And the way I trade them is just a shift in momentum. Like literally, price came into this area, found support, collected liquidity, and made its move towards the actual direction that I believe that basically the price is going in. Same with this. It's had a push. I think it was struggling to break some stuff up here. It came back for some more fuel, found support, and again, I just literally traded it. In this scenario, I'll show you what I saw actually when I traded this. Right. So on the 1 minute, I'll show exactly how I traded this. Literally the same way I trade the others. It's just a shift in momentum is what you're looking for. Oops. It's a shift in momentum, right? So as price came down, I did the same thing. I marked out a high. Let's make it green, right? I marked out a low, point of invalidation, right? And this is what I'm playing with. Now, obviously, as price is coming down, I can't see the future. I don't know if it's the bottom, but based on the support I have here, based on, buying off support is all I'm looking to do. This is support. This was resistance, 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 broke through, came back, got a reaction actually, came down here, broke, retest, and continue, right? So it's a valid support. So let's go back to so again, same thing. If you watch my videos, I do the same thing every day. I enter in the same way. There's nothing crazy about what I do. I'm a retail concept trader. I just trade shifts in momentum. So again, right, that's your line that you need to see be broken. Now, obviously, in this scenario, because it was basically like a higher low being formed, right? I knew that it wasn't going to be the same as this area, all this price action where we had 1 hour exhaustion. I knew that it was going to basically come, find support, and it's probably going to shoot off, especially the fact that it was within the first hour of the New York session. So it was pretty much just a retest and go, right? So basically, all I was looking for was in this scenario, I didn't really get like a break and a retest. I just saw a bullish engulfing break my entry line, and that was enough for me to enter. But by the time I got in, actually, it got me in up here. I don't know why, but basically, by the time I saw that break that, I think I went on a 5 minute. Yeah. So this 5 minute candle breaking my 1 minute market structure is what I would have entered off. But by the time it got me in, I think it just shot straight off. So I got in and hold on, let's have a look on the 15. Yeah, you wouldn't have even, if you'd have took it after the 15-minute closing, you wouldn't have even, you would have been up here. So I think I waited for the 5. I think when this 5 minute candle closed over this line, I entered, but then by the time it got me in, I'm up here somewhere. It's just spreads, I guess. And yeah, I took that up to here. I caught this push, and that push was, that's at 40 pips. I don't even think I took TP'd at the top. I think I TP'd around here. Yeah, and that's it basically. That's what I did today. It was a good day. I'll show you my journal. Let me move this out of the way. I'm not sure how this is going to work. Okay, it's not going to work. It's not going to fit in the box. Okay, it doesn't matter. Can I do it? Nah. TradeZella is not going to work. Oh, maybe it is. Okay, right. All right, I've got a box, so you're not going to be able to see. No, you're not going to be able to see it. Because I'm not sharing screen. I've actually cut the screen out for the benefit of the video. But yeah. So that's it. That's how I enter my trade. That's what I look for. Obviously the higher time frame stuff is better. This level here, pretty solid. Like I said, price came into here yesterday. It's consolidating around. This was a tiny little move, but you can make good money from tiny little moves. There's nothing wrong with ranges when you trade GJ. Obviously swings are amazing. If you can catch swings on the 5 minute, take them up for 100 pips, amazing. Risk reward is great, but most of the time the market's ranging. So when it finds support, it's going to, collect orders, range up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, collect liquidity, and then it's going to make its move. So after we had this big drop, it's not just going to shoot up. It's going to, have to collect more orders, and everyone has to place their bets before the next move, whether it goes up or down. Yeah, and that's it. If you have any questions, just add me on Instagram. I'll try and answer questions. But yeah, I keep doing these breakdowns. I hope that other people see them and it brings maybe some value to their trading. Everything that I've learned from someone else. Nothing is original, so I'm happy to share it. I didn't create any of this stuff. I learned this stuff from other people. So yeah, and that's the end of my video, guys. So thank you for watching, and please, if you enjoyed the video and you found value in it, like it, and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you.